Rappers this Christmas, one of my all-time favorite songs. So this week, or excuse me, last week, 4 white St. Louis cops were indicted for beating a black protester who turned out to be an undercover cop. Now, one of the cops that is now being charged with the beating of a cop, violation of civil rights, was a man who around in 2011, 2012 was charged with murdering an unarmed black man, and he was acquitted. Why is it that we are determined to put people who have a propensity for violence against a particular kind of people back with those people? You are what we thought you were. Now, you acquitted this man only to have him go back and do the same types of things he was doing before. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? What was the consequence? You got time off, and you got exonerated, and you got your job back, and you got to do it again. There's no consequence for these things, and that's what. Oftentimes, when somebody is indicted of doing something, when in the rare instance where you do get to indict a cop, look at his history, and you'll see something in his history that lets you know who or she is. They'll tell you exactly who they are, but you keep turning a deaf eye. There was in Bakersfield, California, a police officer was fired for being brutal and racist. He was hired again. All of a sudden, he kills a man, an unarmed black man, in the parking lot of a Walmart. Now, he told you everything he was. In Pittsburgh, a suburb outside of Pittsburgh, it was a man earlier January of last year, fired for being brutal and racist, gets hired as a police officer. Within swearing in, with 90 minutes of swearing in, he killed an unarmed black person. They are they always were. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. When they show you who they are, believe them. This is going to cost. This not only costs municipalities money, but it costs people lives. Like in this instance, they couldn't wait to be brutal. They were glad that. Matter of fact, they thought they were going to be protests off an officer being acquitted, and couldn't wait to set it off. They wanted to be brutal, and you know it. You knew it. They got caught saying, and the only reason that we're having this conversation right now, because the guy they happened to beat was a 22-year-old veteran black undercover cop who still is not right yet. Still can't eat right yet. They are who they thought they are. Who is it that we're letting on our streets? And what makes them so honorable if you would do stuff like this? Do you know how many hundreds of unreported rapes through the decade there have been by police officers? Who is guarding us? Who are we letting in charge of our streets? Who are we letting do the things over and over and over again? It's to protect and serve, not serve yourself. The things people have been saying about some of these people are true. When you look at somebody and you see a history and a pattern, it's going to manifest itself. And that manifestation will oftentimes cost a man or a woman of color their lives. And now we know it. And now you know it. Now what do? That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the